Hey everybody, today we're making a classic Irish comfort food dish called an Irish pasty. It's basically a ham pie with pastry stuffed with meat and yummy vegetables, but let's get going. Right here I have two potatoes boiling away. I've chopped them into small dice, probably about a ½ inch dice, and I'm boiling them for about 10 minutes until they're kind of not quite done, but when pierced with a fork they're a little bit tender. And then we're going to drain those. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in my skillet, and I'm going to add 1 small onion chopped and 2 large cloves of garlic chopped. I'm going to saute those. And I'm also adding 2 medium-sized carrots, about a cup. This is a little more than a cup, but those are going in now too. And we're going to cook those for about 3 minutes until the onions and the garlic are fragrant and the carrots start to soften. Okay, now we're going to add the ground beef. Sometimes these are also made with ground lamb, but ground beef is actually the traditional, so that's what we're doing today. This is a pound of ground beef. Goes in, and we're going to just break that up with a spatula. I love these Pampered Chef rubber spatulas, by the way. It's like my favorite kitchen tool. They don't discolor. This one is probably 10 years old and you can see there's a little bit of coloration, but generally, like if you use them in red sauce, they don't discolor at all, and they're very durable. They don't scratch your pan. I am using non-stick here, but we're just going to break this up and continue cooking, stirring, occasionally. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. I'm going to use a teaspoon of salt, ½ a teaspoon of black pepper, and then we're going to use some of my Ciabatta Italian seasoning. I'm going to do about a ¾ of a teaspoon of the Ciabatta. It's going to add great flavor. You can get it if you're shoptheblock.com. And now we're just going to keep cooking the meat here, stirring and breaking it up until it's tiny little pieces. In the meantime, I drained our potatoes. Again, they're just barely tender when pierced with the tip of a knife or a fork. And then as soon as this is brown, we're going to add the tomatoes and the potatoes and some other good stuff to the pot. Okay. All right, our meat is cooked through and broken down. I'm now adding, actually, the potatoes that we boiled and drained. They're going into the pot. Out of there. Put those puppies in. They use potatoes in the pasties because back in the day, beef was very expensive, and the potatoes were a great way to stretch a dish. So that's, how the Irish, love their potatoes, and this is just a really economical way to make a dish for a large family without having to spend a lot of money on the beef. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. We'll add with our thickener. Stir that in. That will go with the juices from the beef and make a roux, if you will. It's going to help to thicken our sauce and hold this whole thing together. Now I'm going to add Irish beer, Guinness. I'm going to add about a ¼ of a cup of Guinness. That'll give it nice depth of flavor. About a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Some people say wash your sister sauce. Put that in there. And about a ½ a cup of beef stock. Get that all going. Smells incredible. Beautiful. Not totally traditional. Sometimes it's done, but I love peas in my pasty. So we're going to put about a cup of frozen peas that have been thawed. And that is our filling. We'll cook that for another minute. Okay, so we are ready to form our pasties. I made 1 recipe of my pie dough, which is on the blog if you want to check it out, and then divided it into 4 equal pieces and made it into discs and wrapped it in saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator to chill for 3 hours. I want it to be nice and cold. And then our filling, in the meantime, has also cooled. You want cool filling or room temperature filling to go into these pasties because if you put it in hot, it'll melt all the butter and the shortening in the dough and make the dough very soft and not beautifully crispy and flaky like we want it. So I've taken 1 of my dough discs here. I floured my counter and put a little flour on top, and I'm simply going to roll it out into a disc that's about 1/4 to a ½ inch thick, and you're going to get it as much in the circle as you can. Always pushing your dough in one direction. Give it one flip. A little more flour. And roll, roll, roll. It's really not smart to wear a navy blue shirt when you're rolling pasta pastry because you probably end up flour all over you. That's okay. All right, so we're about 10 inches across, and you can see the thickness is about a 1/4 inch, I would say, 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. And we're gonna take 1/4, we're gonna make 4 big pasties. We're gonna take about 1/4 of our beautiful filling and lay it out on one side of the dough. It's about 1/4. And then we're gonna take the other side of the dough, bring it over the top, and we're gonna crimp those edges together. Okay, and then you're simply, for the sake of this, you're simply gonna roll the edges to form a crust, and it's also gonna work to seal the filling into the dough. Just keep rolling. If your fingers get a little sticky, add a little flour. A little escape hole there. We can fill that in. We're gonna put vents in the top anyways for steam to escape, but that's a little close to the bottom. Okay, and rolling. You can leave it like that, or you could crimp it with a fork. I think that looks kind of more traditional, so we're gonna leave it just like that. And then I've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper, and we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna repeat with all of the other dough discs and create 4 beautiful pasties. All right, our beautiful pasties are all formed. They look heavenly. Now I'm gonna brush them with an egg wash. I have 1 egg yolk and about a teaspoon of water. Just gonna mix that up with my pastry brush. And coat these guys all over. This is gonna make them golden brown and glistening. Let me come out of the oven. I have my oven set to 400 degrees. Beautiful. These are really big pasties. If you wanted to, you could absolutely make smaller ones. You could even make appetizer size, actually. But so just divide the dough up into however many you want. But this is definitely a meal-sized portion. But they'd be yummy as appetizers, or even just a little bit smaller. Serve them with a side salad. But we're going to serve these with those yummy crispy fries with our curry mayo. Okay, and then we're gonna cut just a couple vent holes in the top of each one so steam can escape. And go boop, 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 boop. And, alrighty. These puppies are going in the oven. They're gonna cook probably for like 35 to 45 minutes in the oven until the crust is golden brown and the filling's hot and oozy. In they go. Hi guys, see you in a bit. All right, our pasties are in the oven, cooking away. They smell amazing. And now we're gonna make a traditional side for Irish pasties, and that is chips or French fries. We're gonna bake these fries. I've took about 2.5 to 3 pounds of potatoes and cut them into 1/2 inch thick wedges, and then I soaked them in ice water for 3 hours. You can do 3 hours, you can do up to overnight. And what that does is it pulls a lot of the starch out of the potatoes and makes a really crispy fry in the oven. So now we're simply gonna drizzle with probably about, you want a generous amount of oil because we're not frying these and you want them to get super crispy. So I'd say about 1/2 cup of olive oil. And then probably about a teaspoon of salt. Again, generous. We are gonna salt them again when they come out of the oven, but potatoes love their salt. So very generous. And then a little bit of black pepper. Probably about 1/2 teaspoon. And then you're just going to toss them with your hands so that everything is evenly coated. Get them all nice and coated in oil. And then, just give my hands a quick rinse. And put them in the oven. We have the oven set at 425 degrees. And they're going to go in for about the first 10 minutes, and then we're going to flip them over, and then they're going to go for another 20 minutes. And they're going to be fluffy and soft in the middle and nice and crunchy on the outside. Hear that? Those are some crispy fries. So we flipped them at 10 minutes. We left them in for 20 minutes more. Actually, when I flipped them, I drizzled with even a little bit more olive oil. They just came out of the oven. They look amazing. They're super crispy. And now we're going to salt, as I said in the beginning. We're going to salt again. Potatoes take can take a lot of salt, lots of flavor. It's probably another half teaspoon of salt all over the top. And those are ready to go. We're gonna keep them warm until our pasties come out of the oven. And now we're gonna make a curry mayonnaise. Okay, now our fries are out of the oven. They're super crispy, and we're gonna make a traditional condiment that is served with fries in Ireland, and that's a curry mayonnaise. So I've got 1 cup of Hellmann's light mayonnaise in this bowl. I love Hellmann's, I'm a Hellmann's girl. I'm taking 1 tablespoon of curry powder, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, very good for you. And then I'm gonna zest 1 garlic clove. You want this really fine on the zester because you don't want to get a big chunk of raw garlic, but it adds beautiful flavor to the mayo. Okay, it's going in. And then we're gonna do about a teaspoon of fresh ginger. You don't even have to peel it if you grate it like this. The peel just comes off on the top, and then you get all your beautiful, very finely grated ginger. That's about a teaspoon. Okay. Then we're going to do the juice of 1 lemon. It's about, actually, sorry, half a lemon, and it's about a tablespoon of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. And then we're going to do about a teaspoon of honey, just to add a little bit of sweetness. Okay. And then we're simply going to mix it all together. It's a really pretty color. Oh, I can smell that curry. It smells so good. Until it's well mixed. And then we're gonna have to test it, right? It looks beautiful. And then I'm gonna take a taste. Smoky. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm gonna get a whole cup. But it's great on stuff other than fries, sandwiches, used in lots of places. So, curry mayonnaise. Okay, they're out of the oven. I obviously let them rest a little bit so that we could pick them up. I know they're hand pies, but they're big. And now, for a taste. Oh, that is so good. And that crust is so flaky. I'm gonna try curry fried. Oh, so crunchy. The pillowy on the inside, and that sauce is incredible. So good. Try these.